For months, my sleep tracker told me the same story every morning. A score somewhere in the 50s, sometimes the 60s, and on a good night, maybe scraping into the 70s. I figured that was just what sleep looks like once you're past 50. Then 2 nights ago, I changed exactly one thing before bed. No new mattress, no new bedtime, nothing complicated. My score that night? 91. The next night? 93. That's not a fluke, and it's not magic. It's 4 cheap, simple ingredients working directly on the actual biology of why sleep falls apart as we age. And I'm walking you through every one of them in this video, with the research behind each one. I'll also give you a backup plan, verified against the actual studies, for the nights life doesn't let you get to bed on time. But first, if you're new here, hit subscribe on Masters of Iron and tap that bell, because we cover real, evidence-based strength and health protocols for people over 50 every week. Let's get into why your sleep changed in the first place.
Here's what's actually happening to your sleep, and it has nothing to do with willpower or sleep hygiene. There's a landmark study out of the University of Chicago, published in JAMA in 2000, that measured slow-wave sleep. That's the deepest, most physically restorative stage in healthy men across the adult lifespan. In their 20s, slow-wave sleep made up nearly 19% of total sleep time. By their 40s, it had dropped to around 3%. Overall, slow-wave sleep falls by roughly 75% between age 20 and age 60. And it's not just deep sleep. A 2004 meta-analysis in the journal Sleep, pooling 65 separate studies and over 3,500 subjects from age 5 to age 102, confirmed that REM sleep declines and time spent in light, easily disrupted sleep stages increases as you get older. This is also tangled up with hormones. That same JAMA study found growth hormone secretion during sleep, the hormone most responsible for overnight tissue repair, falls by about 80% over the same decades that deep sleep disappears, while cortisol, your stress hormone, trends upward. None of this is a character flaw. It's a well-documented, measurable shift in your brain's sleep architecture.
So why does sleep get so choppy as we age? The 3, 4, sometimes 5 wake-ups a night? Researchers have mapped out several converging causes. Your body's melatonin production, the hormone that governs your sleep-wake cycle, declines with age, weakening the circadian signal that used to keep you asleep. Your ability to regulate core body temperature at night, a key trigger for both falling asleep and staying asleep, weakens as well. And a growing body of neuroscience research points to something more specific: the brain's own arousal circuits, particularly a set of neurons that use a chemical called hypocretin, become hyperexcitable with age, essentially making your brain quicker to jolt itself partially awake throughout the night, even when you don't fully remember it. Put it all together, and it's no surprise that, according to data compiled by the National Council on Aging and echoed across multiple epidemiological studies, close to half of all adults 55 and older report ongoing trouble falling or staying asleep. If this is you, you are not broken, and you're not alone. You're dealing with a documented biological shift. The question is what you actually do about it.
Now, before I hand you a list of ingredients, I want to be straight with you about something. I don't have a perfect sleep schedule either. I work my job during the day, and most evenings I'm also working on my wife's business from home, which means more nights than not, I'm not actually turning the lights off until 11:30 at night, and I'm back up at 7 the next morning. That's not the 8 or 9 hours a sleep specialist would tell you to protect. It's a compressed window, same as a lot of you reading your own tracker scores every morning. So this isn't a stack that requires you to overhaul your whole life and be in bed by 9:30. It's what I use to get the most restorative sleep possible out of the hours I actually have. And the 2 90-plus scores you just saw came on nights where I still wasn't asleep before 11.
Here's the full stack. 4 ingredients, all taken in the 30 to 60 minutes before I get in bed.
2 tablespoons of soaked chia seeds, 2 tablespoons of ground pumpkin seeds, mixed with a little milk, 1 tablespoon of good quality extra virgin olive oil, and a dose of magnesium glycinate. None of this is exotic, none of it is expensive, and none of it requires a prescription. What makes it work isn't any single ingredient, it's that each one is targeting a different piece of the biology we just covered: your minerals, your amino acid precursors, your inflammation levels, and your nervous system's ability to actually downshift. Let's go through each one and the actual research behind it.
First, 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, soaked until they turn into that gel texture. That's about 28 grams, and it packs roughly 5 grams of plant-based omega-3 fatty acids, along with close to 20% of your daily magnesium needs and 11 grams of fiber. Each piece matters here. Magnesium, which we'll come back to, is one of the most consistently studied minerals for sleep regulation. The fiber slows and steadies how quickly that meal, or in this case snack, affects your blood sugar overnight. And stable overnight blood sugar is linked to fewer of those middle-of-the-night wake-ups. As for the omega-3s, a 2024 systematic review in Nutrients found that DHA-rich supplementation improved objective sleep efficiency and sleep latency in controlled trials, though the researchers are honest that the overall evidence across all omega-3 studies is still mixed for some sleep measures. I'm not going to oversell this one ingredient to you, but as part of a stack, cheap, soaked chia seeds covering minerals, fiber, and omega-3s in one spoonable serving is hard to argue with. If you want to try the exact chia seeds we use for this, organic, no additives, easy to soak, we've linked them in the description below. Second, 2 tablespoons of ground pumpkin seeds, mixed with a little milk, basically a mini fridge-cold nightcap. Pumpkin seeds are one of the richest whole food plant sources of tryptophan that exists, with USDA data showing roughly 576 milligrams of tryptophan per 100 grams of seed. Tryptophan is the amino acid your body converts step by step into serotonin and then into melatonin, the actual hormone that tells your brain it's time to sleep. Pumpkin seeds also bring a serious dose of magnesium plus zinc, both of which show up again and again in sleep regulation research. Mixing it with milk isn't just for taste. Milk brings a small amount of additional tryptophan and calcium, which some sleep researchers believe helps the conversion process along. It's a simple combination, but it's stacking 2 of the exact raw materials your brain needs to manufacture its own sleep hormone that night. The pumpkin seeds we grind for this mix are linked below as well. Grab a bag, run a couple tablespoons through a coffee grinder or blender, and you're set for the week. Third, and the one people are most surprised by, 1 tablespoon of good quality extra virgin olive oil. This isn't folk wisdom. Research into the Mediterranean diet has repeatedly flagged olive oil as one of its more protective components, specifically for sleep. A 2025 review in the journal Sleep and Breathing points to olive oil's high polyphenol content, compounds like oleocanthal and hydroxytyrosol, for meaningful anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects, and notes that olive oil itself contains small amounts of melatonin. Researchers have also found that olive oil favorably changes gut microbiota composition, and your gut and your sleep are more connected than most people realize. A big share of your body's serotonin, the precursor to melatonin, is actually produced in the gut. To be clear about the evidence here, no single food is a magic bullet, and the researchers are upfront that it's the combination of nutrients in a Mediterranean-style pattern that seems to matter most. But as 1 tablespoon added to a stack that's already covering minerals and amino acids, good olive oil is an easy, well-supported inclusion. The extra virgin olive oil I take a spoonful of before bed is linked in the description too. One quick tip when you're shopping: look for a good quality, cold-pressed oil in a dark glass bottle, high in polyphenols.
The cheap stuff in clear bottles is often cut with lesser oils and won't give you the same benefit. The one we use is linked below. Last, and arguably the anchor of the whole stack, magnesium glycinate. This one has the deepest research behind it. A 2002 double-blind, placebo-controlled crossover study out of Germany gave adults aged 60 to 80 oral magnesium and measured their sleep directly on an EEG, and found significantly more slow-wave sleep, the exact deep sleep stage we talked about losing earlier, plus lower cortisol overnight. A 2012 randomized trial in elderly adults with insomnia found that 8 weeks of magnesium supplementation significantly improved sleep efficiency, total sleep time, and time to fall asleep compared to placebo. And more recently, a 2025 randomized placebo-controlled trial specifically using magnesium bisglycinate, the same compound as magnesium glycinate, found a significantly greater reduction in insomnia severity index scores versus placebo over 4 weeks. The glycinate part matters too. Glycine, the amino acid magnesium is bound to in this form, has its own separate research behind it. A study by Japanese researchers Banai and Kawai found that 3 grams of glycine taken before bed improved subjective sleep quality and next-day alertness by itself. So magnesium glycinate isn't just a magnesium supplement. It's arguably getting you 2 sleep-supporting compounds in one capsule.
The magnesium glycinate we take every night is linked in the description below. It's the one piece of this stack I'd tell you not to skip if you only start with one thing.
So here's what the actual routine looks like. 30 to 60 minutes before I get into bed, I eat the 2 tablespoons of soaked chia seeds, drink the pumpkin seed and milk mixture, take the tablespoon of olive oil, and swallow my magnesium glycinate. That's it. No timer, no complicated prep, maybe 5 minutes of actual effort. And again, I'm not doing this with a perfect 9 p.m. bedtime. I'm doing it on the same 11 to 11:30 schedule most working people my age are stuck with, and it's what took my tracker score from the 50s and 60s up to 91 and 93, back to back.
Sleep is one pillar of staying strong and independent as you age, but it works hand in hand with actual strength training, which is the other half of what we cover on this channel. If you don't already have it, grab our free 18-page Masters of Iron Novice Linear Progression Guide. Scan the QR code on your screen right now, or tap the link in the description. It's a full week-by-week strength program built specifically for people over 50, and it pairs directly with everything we talk about on better recovery and sleep. Now, let's talk about reality. Even with this exact stack, there will be nights you don't get good sleep. A late work call, a grandkid's emergency, plain old insomnia. On those nights, I don't just white-knuckle through the next day. There's a specific, verified backup protocol that research shows can meaningfully offset the cognitive damage from a bad night, and it's not what most people expect. Here's the research. A 2024 study published in Scientific Reports out of the University of Bonn put subjects through 21 hours of sleep deprivation, giving half of them a single dose of creatine monohydrate at 0.35 grams per kilogram of body weight. For someone around 175 pounds, that works out to roughly 28 grams, taken as one dose. Compared to placebo, the creatine group showed meaningfully faster processing speed on logic and language tasks and better short-term memory performance, measured hours into the sleep deprivation. A follow-up study published in 2026 in the journal Nutrients used a more modest single dose, 0.2 grams per kilogram, closer to 16 grams for that same person, during a similar 21-hour sleep deprivation protocol, and still found roughly a 12% improvement in cognitive performance compared to placebo. Now, an important correction. Creatine for this purpose is dosed in grams, not milligrams. Milligrams would be roughly 1,000 times too small a dose to do anything here. That's not a rounding difference. It's the difference between an effective dose and essentially nothing.
Based on what the actual research used, a reasonable range on a night you know you're going to be genuinely short on sleep is somewhere around 15 to 20 grams of creatine monohydrate, taken as a single dose, not the daily 3 to 5 gram maintenance dose some of you may already be taking for the gym. If you have any kidney condition or are on medication, check with your doctor before taking a dose that large.
The creatine monohydrate we keep on hand for exactly this situation is linked in the description below. It's plain, unflavored, and it's the same form of creatine used in the actual research we just covered.
Let's recap. Your sleep quality declining after 55 isn't in your head. It's measurable, documented biology, from shrinking deep sleep to a nervous system that's quicker to wake itself up. But it's not something you're stuck with. Soaked chia seeds, ground pumpkin seeds and milk, a tablespoon of good olive oil, and magnesium glycinate 30 to 60 minutes before bed is the stack that took my own tracker score from the 50s and 60s up to 91 and 93 on the same compressed working late schedule a lot of you are on too. And on the nights that schedule wins anyway, 15 to 20 grams of creatine monohydrate is a verified way to protect your thinking the next day. If this video helped you, hit subscribe and drop a comment below with your current sleep tracker score or which part of this stack you're trying first. I read every one. Train smart, sleep smarter, and I'll see you in the next one.